Chosen one. Stop scrolling for a moment, because something's been unfolding around your life that you have felt but could never fully explain. This is not coincidence. This is not your imagination. There's been an invisible tension surrounding your journey, and every strange delay, every unexpected ending, every lonely season has been pointing toward a truth that has remained hidden beneath the surface. You have questioned yourself more times than you can count. You wondered if you had somehow lost your way. But what if the confusion was never proof that you were abandoned? What if it was evidence that you were standing at the edge of a revelation too powerful to arrive before its appointed moment? Chosen one. There are truths that only become visible after enough darkness has surrounded them. Imagine trying to see the stars while standing beneath the bright lights of a crowded city. You cannot. It is only when everything becomes dark that heaven reveals what was always above you. That is where you have been. Not forgotten, not rejected, simply placed in a season where distractions had to disappear before clarity could finally appear. Listen carefully. This message found you because your heart has been searching for answers that ordinary conversations could never provide. Somewhere deep inside, you have sensed that people have been reacting to something about you that they themselves could not explain. They watched your life with unusual attention. They questioned your motives. They misunderstood your silence. They created stories about you simply because they could not understand your peace. But here's what they never understood. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is preparation. And preparation always looks invisible before it becomes undeniable. The truth has been traveling toward you for longer than you realize, and today another layer is being uncovered. If this message speaks to your journey, leave your thoughts in the comments. Your story may become the encouragement someone else has been praying to find. And if this resonates with your spirit, consider subscribing, because this journey is only beginning. Now listen carefully. The Insider Update is not about someone else's life. It is about yours. Number 1. The delay was never designed to destroy you. Chosen one, they believed that time was working against you. They looked at your waiting seasons and quietly concluded that your opportunities had expired. Every month that passed became another reason for them to doubt you. Every closed door became another excuse for them to believe you would never recover. They thought your life had stopped, but they misunderstood the nature of hidden growth. Think about a seed buried beneath the earth. To everyone standing above the ground, nothing appears to be happening. The soil looks empty. The silence looks permanent. But beneath that darkness, roots are quietly spreading in directions nobody can see. The deeper the roots become, the greater the tree will eventually stand. That has been your life. While others measure your progress by appearances, your character was growing beneath the surface. While they chased recognition, you developed resilience. While they celebrated quick victories, you learned patience. They built their confidence on applause. You built yours on endurance. Imagine standing at the foot of an enormous mountain before sunrise. The mountain appears lifeless. Cold, silent, yet the first ray of light is already climbing toward its peak. The sunlight has begun its journey long before your eyes can witness it. That is exactly how transformation works. Reality begins changing before evidence becomes visible. Here's the truth. Some of your greatest victories began long before you recognized them. Every disappointment forced hidden strength into your soul. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every lonely night built emotional muscles that comfort never could. The storm you feared was secretly carving away everything that could not survive the future waiting for you. That is why you are still standing. Not because life became easier, because you became stronger. And what happened next would reveal something even greater. Number 2, they mistook your silence for weakness. Chosen one, there is something about quiet strength that unsettles people who depend on noise. They watched you refuse arguments that could have easily become battles. They expected revenge, but they found restraint. They expected emotional collapse, but they found calm determination. They couldn't understand it, because people often judge strength by volume. But rivers never shout while carving canyons through solid rock. The ocean does not announce every wave before reshaping an entire coastline. Real power rarely introduces itself. It simply changes everything around it. Imagine 2 fires burning through the night. One explodes into bright flames, demanding attention from everyone nearby. The other burns slowly, deep beneath glowing coals. Hours later, the loud fire has already disappeared, but the quiet fire still carries enough heat to ignite an entire forest. You became the second fire. Your silence became fuel. Your discipline became protection. Your restraint became wisdom. They underestimated what happens when someone stops trying to prove themselves and starts becoming themselves. Here's what they never imagined. Every insult they spoke became another brick in the foundation of your confidence. Every rejection became another doorway, leading you away from the wrong people. Every misunderstanding pushed you closer to those capable of recognizing your true value. That's when reality hit. They realized your peace was never surrender. It was self-mastery. And that realization frightened them far more than any argument ever could. But an even deeper truth was still waiting beneath the surface. Number 3, the mirrors around you began revealing more about them than about you. Chosen one, have you noticed how certain people become unusually emotional simply because you exist? They criticize choices you never asked them to approve. They compete against victories you never announced. They react to your quiet confidence as though it were a personal attack. This is why you became a mirror. Mirrors never create insecurity. They reveal what already exists. The people who celebrated your growth were comfortable with their own. The people who attacked your progress were often fighting battles inside themselves. Your light exposed shadows they preferred to ignore. Imagine walking into a room carrying nothing but a candle. You never speak. You never accuse anyone. Yet suddenly everyone notices the dust that had always been covering the furniture. The candle did not create the dust. It revealed it. Chosen one, your healing has done exactly that. They laughed. You healed. They judged. You grew. They mocked. You transformed. They watched. You evolved. They chased appearances. You built character. They wanted your failure. Your quiet success became the answer they never expected. Let that sink in. Sometimes your greatest purpose is not convincing people you are different. It is becoming so authentic that their own hearts begin asking uncomfortable questions. And that leads directly into the next revelation, where everything begins to make sense. Number 4, the doors that closed were protecting more than they were preventing. Chosen one, this is a part of your story that many people will never understand because they only judge life by what they can immediately see. They believed every closed door was proof that you were losing. Every opportunity that slipped away looked like another defeat. Every relationship that ended became another reason for them to whisper, maybe they were never meant for greatness. But they never stopped to ask a deeper question. What if those doors were never meant to open? Think about this. If a traveler insists on entering a bridge that has already begun to collapse, would you call it cruel if someone locked the gate before they crossed? At first, they might feel angry. They might think they were being denied something valuable. Only later, when the bridge falls into the river below, do they understand that what looked like rejection was actually protection. Chosen one, your life has been filled with moments that only make sense after enough time has passed. There were friendships you cried over losing, only to discover they would have drained your peace. There were opportunities you desperately wanted, only to realize they would have chained you to a version of yourself that was far too small. There were places you begged to stay, not knowing they were already becoming prisons for your purpose. Here's what they never understood. You were never being pushed backward. You were being redirected upward. Imagine an eagle soaring above a violent storm. Every smaller bird rushes toward the nearest tree, desperately searching for shelter. But the eagle does something completely different. Instead of escaping the storm, it rises above it, allowing the powerful winds to lift it higher than it could have flown on a calm day. That is what your difficult seasons have been doing. The very pressures that others believed would destroy you have been carrying you toward heights they never imagined possible. They thought your setbacks proved weakness. In reality, your setbacks became your elevation. They believed the story was ending. But everything changed because those endings were quietly becoming beginnings. And once you understand that, another hidden truth starts revealing itself. Number 5, they built their confidence on your doubt until your healing changed everything. Chosen one, some people become comfortable only when they believe you are uncertain about yourself. As long as you questioned your worth, they felt secure. As long as you apologized for taking up space, they remained comfortable. As long as you carried guilt that did not belong to you, they never worried about losing control. But healing changes people. Quietly, gradually, powerfully. Healing is dangerous to anyone who benefited from your brokenness. That is why your transformation confused them. You stopped chasing approval. You stopped explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stopped shrinking so others could feel taller. You stopped carrying emotional weights that were never yours to begin with. They couldn't understand what happened. They thought someone had changed your personality. No, your personality did not change. Your fear lost its authority. Imagine a diamond hidden beneath layers of dirt for years. People walk across it every day without recognizing its value. They assume it is nothing more than another ordinary stone. Then one day, someone washes away the dirt. The diamond did not suddenly become valuable. Its value had always been there. The only thing that changed was visibility. Chosen one, let that sink in. You did not suddenly become worthy. You finally began seeing the worth that had been inside you all along. That realization unsettled people who had grown comfortable treating you as if you were ordinary. Here's the truth. The greatest revenge is not proving people wrong. It is becoming so whole that you no longer need their permission to become who you were created to be. And once that happens, everything around you begins to shift. Not because the world changes, because your vision does. That is when reality truly begins to unfold. Number 6. The hidden battle was never outside you. It was within you. Chosen one. For a long time you believed your greatest enemies were the people who misunderstood you. You believed the obstacles were the critics, the betrayal, the rejection, the unfair treatment. Yes, those things hurt. Yes, those things left scars. But here's the truth. None of them had the power to define your future unless they first convinced you to doubt yourself. That was the real battlefield. The quiet conversations inside your own mind. The moments when you questioned whether you were enough. The nights when fear whispered that nothing would ever change. The mornings when disappointment tried to convince you to stop believing in tomorrow. Those invisible battles were far greater than anything happening around you. Imagine standing before a massive mountain covered in thick fog. From where you stand, it seems impossible to climb. Every step feels uncertain because you cannot see the summit. But as you continue walking, something incredible happens. The higher you climb, the thinner the fog becomes. Eventually, you realize something astonishing. The mountain was never growing smaller. Your perspective was growing higher. Chosen one, your fears often looked larger simply because you were standing too close to them. Every step of courage changed your viewpoint. Every decision to keep moving weakened the voice of doubt. Every act of faith, every choice to forgive, every refusal to become bitter lifted you above the fog that once blinded you. They watched your struggle. They assumed you would remain trapped there forever. They never imagined your greatest breakthrough would not begin with changing your circumstances. It would begin with changing your heart. Because once your heart became free, your future had no choice but to follow. And what comes next is perhaps the most powerful revelation of all. The truth that has been quietly unfolding behind every unexpected turn in your journey is about to become impossible to ignore. Number 7. The truth was never hidden from you. It was hidden for you until you were ready to carry it. Chosen one, there are moments in life when you wonder why understanding arrives so late. You look back and ask yourself why the answers could not have come sooner. Why the lessons had to be wrapped inside pain. Why clarity always seemed to wait until after the storm had already passed. But imagine handing a blazing torch to someone who has never learned how to hold fire. The light is good, but without wisdom it can still cause harm. Timing matters. Growth matters. Readiness matters. That is why some truths waited. Not because you were forgotten, because you were being prepared. They believed you were wandering without direction. They looked at your uncertainty and mistook it for failure. They saw you changing your path and assumed you were lost. But here's what they never understood. A river does not apologize for its curves. It bends around rocks without losing sight of the ocean. Every turn that looked unnecessary was actually preserving its strength. Chosen one, Your journey has followed the same pattern. The seasons that confused you were quietly teaching you discernment. The disappointments that broke your expectations were rebuilding your vision. The silence that once frightened you became the place where your inner voice finally grew louder than the opinions surrounding you. Imagine walking through a dense forest before sunrise. Every tree looks like an obstacle. Every shadow feels uncertain. But as the first light rises above the horizon, you realize those same trees have been guiding you toward an open valley all along. The forest never changed. The light did. And when your perspective changed, what once looked frightening suddenly became meaningful. That is what is happening now. You are beginning to see your own story through different eyes. Not the eyes of fear, not the eyes of regret, but through the quiet confidence that comes from surviving what once seemed impossible. That's when reality hit. You stopped asking, "Why did this happen to me?" And you began asking, "What is this preparing me for?" That single question changed everything, because every answer started pointing toward a future far greater than your past. And yet, an even deeper layer was waiting beneath the surface. Number 8. The people who tried to find you were limited by what they could see. Chosen one. Some people made up their minds about you before they ever understood you. They watched one chapter and believed they knew the entire story. They judged your pauses without knowing your battles. They interpreted your kindness as weakness. They mistook your patience for passivity. They confused your humility with insecurity. But they were looking at the cover while your life was still being written. Imagine standing beside a sculptor who is chiseling away at a massive block of stone. To someone passing by, it appears as if the artist is destroying the rock. Pieces fall to the ground. Dust fills the air. The surface looks damaged. But the sculptor sees something no one else can. Hidden inside that ordinary stone is a masterpiece waiting to be revealed. Every strike of the chisel removes what never belonged. Chosen one, many of the difficult experiences you endured were chisels, not punishments. Preparation. Every criticism removed the need for constant approval. Every betrayal stripped away unhealthy dependence. Every disappointment carved away false expectations. Every lonely season uncovered a deeper relationship with your own purpose. They thought life was breaking you apart. In reality, life was revealing who you had always been beneath the surface. Here's the truth. People often panic when they cannot control the story someone else is becoming. As you grew stronger, they lost a version of you they thought they understood. As you became wiser, they could no longer predict your decisions. As you found peace, their chaos no longer reached your heart the way it once did. That unsettled them, not because you became proud, because you became free. Freedom has a quiet sound. It is the sound of someone who no longer needs to prove their worth. It is the sound of broken chains falling into the dust. It is the sound of a silent warrior walking forward without looking back. Let that sink in. Your greatest transformation was never meant to impress people. It was meant to liberate you. And when freedom finally settles into the soul, something extraordinary begins to happen. The future starts responding differently. Number 9. Your quiet faithfulness is becoming the foundation of your new beginning. Chosen one. There is a kind of strength the world rarely celebrates. It is not loud. It does not demand attention. It is the strength of showing up after disappointment. The strength of choosing kindness after betrayal. The strength of believing that another sunrise is coming even when the night feels endless. That has been your strength, not perfection. Faithfulness. Imagine the horizon just before dawn. The sky is still dark enough for people to believe morning will never arrive. Some give up watching. Some turn away because they think nothing is changing. But while human eyes struggle to notice it, the light has already begun its journey. Little by little, moment by moment, until suddenly the entire world is covered in gold. That is how hope works. It rarely arrives with an announcement. It grows quietly until one day you realize the darkness no longer has a final word. Chosen one. Every small act of courage has mattered. Every time you chose integrity over revenge. Every time you chose growth over bitterness. Every time you chose compassion instead of becoming hardened by pain. Those choices became hidden roots beneath the surface of your life. And hidden roots produce the strongest trees. Storms may shake their branches, but they cannot easily uproot them. They watch your seasons of waiting and assume nothing was happening. They never imagined that while they were counting your delays, you were quietly becoming unshakable. Here's the truth. Your future is not being built by one dramatic moment. It is being built by every faithful step you have taken when no one was applauding. And that is why the chapter ahead will carry a peace that no storm can steal. Because the strongest souls are not formed in comfort. They are formed by continuing to walk toward the light, even when the path ahead is barely visible. Now listen carefully. Chosen one, the greatest revelation is still ahead. Everything you have walked through has been preparing your heart for one final truth that will change the way you see your entire journey forever. Number 10. Everything they meant for your defeat became the foundation of your strength. Chosen one, there comes a moment in every remarkable journey when the pieces finally begin to fit together. It does not happen all at once. It happens quietly, like the first golden rays of sunrise slipping across a valley that spent the entire night beneath darkness. At first, only a small corner of the landscape is illuminated, then another, and another, until suddenly you realize the darkness never disappeared because it fought harder. It disappeared because the light finally arrived. That is where you are now. You have spent so much time asking why life unfolded the way it did that you almost miss what was creating inside you. Every hardship left behind something greater than the pain it caused. Every disappointment deposited wisdom. Every lonely season planted compassion. Every setback built endurance that comfort could never teach. They thought they were watching someone slowly fall apart. They never imagined they were witnessing someone being rebuilt from the inside out. Here's what they never understood. A blacksmith does not place iron into fire because he hates it. He places it there because he sees what it can become. The hammer is not the enemy of the steel. It is part of its transformation. Chosen one, your difficult seasons have felt like fire. The pressure felt unbearable. The waiting seemed endless. The uncertainty kept whispering that nothing would ever change. But the fire did not come to consume your purpose. It came to refine your character. Imagine a river rushing toward the sea. Along its journey, enormous rocks stand in its path. To an impatient observer, those rocks appear to stop the river's progress. But watch long enough and something extraordinary happens. The water never argues with the stone. It simply keeps flowing, day after day, season after season, until the very rocks that seemed immovable become smooth because of the river's persistence. That is your story. You did not become stronger because life became gentle. You became stronger because you refused to stop flowing. They pushed. You persisted. They doubted. You believed. They abandoned. You endured. They expected bitterness. You chose healing. They expected fear. You discovered courage. They assumed your quiet spirit meant you had accepted defeat. But everything changed because while they were focused on your circumstances, something invisible was taking place inside your heart. A confidence that no applause could create. A peace that no criticism could steal. A purpose that no rejection could erase. Let that sink in. The strongest people are rarely those who have avoided pain. They are the ones who refuse to let pain decide who they would become. Chosen one, this is why your story matters. Not because it has been perfect, but because every chapter has revealed another reason to keep moving forward. Every scar became proof that you survived. Every tear watered unseen seeds. Every mountain strengthened your resolve. Every storm taught you where your true shelter was found. Every broken chain became a reminder that freedom is always stronger than fear. Now think about this. If you had received every blessing exactly when you wanted it, would you have become the person capable of carrying it? If every road had been smooth, would you have discovered the resilience that now lives inside you? If everyone had applauded you, would you have learned how to stand firm, even when no one believed in you? This is why the journey unfolded the way it did. Not to make you smaller, to make you ready. Chosen one, there will always be people who remember the old version of you. They will continue speaking as though you are still trapped in seasons you have already outgrown. They will keep expecting the same fear, the same hesitation, the same uncertainty. But they are speaking to someone who no longer exists. That version of you remained in yesterday's chapter. Today, You stand with clearer eyes, a steadier heart, a quieter confidence, a deeper compassion, a stronger spirit. You are no longer searching for your identity in the opinions of people who never truly understood your journey. You have discovered something far greater. You have discovered that your value was never determined by who accepted you or who rejected you. It was present long before either of them formed their opinions. And that changes everything. From this day forward, walk like someone who knows that every step has meaning. Speak like someone who no longer needs to shout to be heard. Love without allowing bitterness to rewrite your heart. Forgive without surrendering your wisdom. Dream without allowing fear to become your author. Keep climbing, even when the mountain seems impossibly high. Keep flowing, even when the rocks appear too large. Keep shining, even when the night feels long. Because dawn has never failed to arrive. Chosen one, the truth you have been searching for was never hiding from you. It was patiently waiting for the moment your heart became strong enough to recognize it. So leave this chapter with your head held high. Leave with the confidence that your past does not imprison your future. Leave knowing that every silent battle has shaped a soul capable of carrying extraordinary purpose. Leave understanding that no season of genuine growth is ever wasted. And whenever doubt tries to return, remember this one truth above every other truth. Chosen one, the same light that carried you through your darkest night is a light that will guide you into your brightest morning. And no darkness can ever overcome a heart that has learned to keep walking toward the dawn.